if you are new to Hardware Sugar and are starting to go through our live stream, starting to go through our videos, this ad will become very familiar.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder. Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nag-CDK ka na para sa Windows mo. Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sad and depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. All right, before we begin the stream, let me just check. All right, everything's going. I did want to say thank you to Asus for lending us this keyboard. It's the ROG low profile something something. Like, to be honest, I can't remember the name of the keyboard, but it's very similar to a keyboard we've already tried for the channel. But that keyboard, actually, I can find it. It's very similar to this one. It's very similar to. So I was the one who reviewed that keyboard like last month. Here, it's very similar to the ROG Falcon Ace, as you can see in the thumbnail. So this one is very similar, but this is the ROG low profile something something. So this is also like I think the keyboard guys call this like a 65% keyboard. So it doesn't have the numpad. It's also not something I'm used to. It does have RGB, or turned off. What's nice about this, it has a unified receiver. So if you get another ROG product like this mouse, which they also sent over, this is the ROG Strix Impact 3. So it's wireless. Wait, maybe the keyboard has the name of the keyboard. Okay. This is the ROG Falcon RX low profile. So also part of the Falcon series. The volume control is here at the top instead of here at the side, unlike the previous one that we reviewed. But so ASUS sent over these two things. What's nice about them is that the keyboard comes with a unified receiver. So I didn't have to use the receiver for this one. One receiver ties it all in together. So small thing, but useful. It comes with its own cover also. So it goes like this, but you can also have it like it's a traveling cover, but you can also use it when you plop it down onto a desk. So it is wireless. I do Sub Zucchini. Mayong gabi. My parents are Cebuano actually. My mom is from Cebu, so makasabot at makasulti ko Bisaya. Thank you for watching from Sugbo. So Hardware Sugar Reacts to Hardware Sugar is the stream that we do once a month, where basically we give some behind the scenes or yung mga like insider things on what went into the making of the videos. So we'll do that now. The first video we did for this month was this one, the 24 build tips for 2024. This is actually that's a clip that you see that we used a lot of back in 2022, 2023. That's actually my old computer. What's up, Christian Raver from YouTube? Good evening. So itong 24 build tips from 2024 is actually a sequel to a similar video we did in 2023. So there are 24 build tips, and some of them are super practical. Like you can carry over a lot of your parts from your last build. So if your last build, you can probably still carry over your SSD, your HDD, your motherboard, if you're just upgrading the CPU and things like that. So there are 24 build tips. Some of them are very practical. Some of them are more philosophical. Like the last tip is make sure you, well, one of the tips is that you share your knowledge. I mean, a lot of people who watch the channel are very technically savvy when it comes to computers. So parang sayang naman kung that knowledge is siloed or kumbaga nakaipon lang sa'yo, hindi mo, you don't share it out into the world. So one of them is Sup Don Don the Five from Facebook. So one of the tips was like, if you have knowledge, share it. So it's a nice mix of practical tips as well as kind of more philosophical things like that. And the last tip is actually find a hobby outside of the computing space. Because masaya, don't get me wrong, masaya yung computers, masaya yung PC hardware. But a lot of the maraming enthusiasts, natatakot ako for some enthusiasts na parang all their effort and all of their ego is fixed on the hobby. Kung may nag-criticize sa kanila for their build or kung may nagsabi na, well, I don't agree with your opinion na yung build na yan kailangan ng 750-watt PSU. Sa tingin ko, kaya lang 650 watts. They get very upset and they start flaming and they're like, no, tanga ka ba? Di mo alam na itong GPU, ito yung power load, ganito, ganyan. 80 plus rail volt, whatever, multi-volt, single rail, whatever. So, because all of their time and effort and their self-worth is invested into the hobby, they get very prickly and they don't take criticism well, and I don't think that's healthy for any hobby. I mean, whether you're into bikes, cars, computers, wine, if your hobby starts to take over your life, that's why I think it's good to have a diversity of interests. So the last tip is that one. So it's a nice blend of philosophical and practical tips. This is a shot. So this shot that you're seeing here on screen now is actually here. So that's in my home office, but the camera is usually behind me over there. I'm facing over there. Then you can see my primary monitor. So this side, which you can't see in this setup because the camera is here to the side. Which is sort of a new angle that we're trying out. I'm only able to do it because I got a new lens recently. So this is a Korean lens, Samyang lens. It's actually pretty good. I'm not super technical into cameras, but the AF35 1.8, or I forget the f stop on it, but it's pretty good for parang portrait style. So a lot of our newer videos starting this year is with that format. Now you can see my monitors and my PC here in the background, and then the camera is just shot. Basically, the camera is just there, would be just there behind me, and then you would see things that you can't see with this camera setup. So yeah, this video was a sequel to what we did back in the start of 2023. I like doing this kind of video, so it's really quite long. How long is it? Oh, that's really long. It's like 30 minutes. It's like 30 minutes long. Ren had a heck of a time editing this. Although I did more, she did the first revision, and then she did the first edit, and then I also put in some other stuff just to, put in more B-roll to make sure that the video doesn't feel boring. And my only regret for this video is that it came out kind of late. Yung gusto ko sana for this video was that first week of January 2024. But, other videos, we had to push out other videos, and the 30-minute video is not easy to edit. I mean, hindi biro yung pag-edit. I mean, if the final product is around 30 plus minutes, you can imagine the raw footage that we went through we edited, we cut out and things like that. So it did take a little while longer. It got released start of February, which is a shame. Yun nga. The what I liked about the first one, pang New Year 23 build tips in 2023 and then 24 build tips in 2024. For sure, we'll probably do another one if we're still in YouTube next year, and by all indications, you probably will be. Then yeah, 25 build tips in 2025 should come out like January 1 sana. So mark that date, January 1, 2025. We'll have an update naman to this video. So the next video we did for Feb was this one from Rocky the Programmer. A lot of channels, like, oh, what's a good build for $800? What's a good build for 15,000 pesos? But, oh, sup, Anton? I will be seeing you soon. I am excited for our project. For those watching, it's not PC related, but I will be talking about it a little bit more. The project, like once it's done and everything. Speaking of having hobbies outside of the PC space, that's I really wouldn't call it a hobby on my part, but it is something that I'm interested in, and that I try to. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see it. That's something that I do want. That's something that I do take an interest in, but not. I'm not super knowledgeable about it. So I'm going to Anton to have my car detailed, and like like yung mga super detailed, and like there's a graphene ceramic coating and stuff like that. So I'm excited to do that to my 10-year-old car. Which is, if you watch the videos, you'll notice na the CRZ, that's still my daily driver. I did a video on it like 3 years ago. It's 10 years old this year, but it still drives like a dream. Still my daily driver. Although for like in the medium term time frame, like maybe a year and a half, I am thinking of getting an all electric vehicle. So we'll see how that goes and where the CRZ ends up. But right now, I'm still saving up for some other stuff, and I still love the car. Like even if I get a full EV, I don't know, I don't know if I could let the CRZ go. So Christian Raver from YouTube, have you heard of Paladin GPUs? Are they good? I have not heard them, so I can't comment on about that. Yeah, so this video from Rocky the Programmer did pretty well, 2,400 views, and yeah, it's the stuff that you should do after you get a new computer. We do some of it already in Hardware Sugar, like making sure all the drivers are updated and things like that. But I mean, there's some other stuff. Did we timestamp this? Oh, that was the nice that was a nice that was a clip of the very nice monitor that ROG lent to us. Although I'm not quite sure why that was our B-roll for that. Oh, yeah, make a list of all the parts. That's very practical, very boring advice, but super useful. Especially years later when you don't quite remember what your parts are anymore. Then you're wondering if you should upgrade, or if there's if there are new drivers for that particular hardware. Having a list of what you have when you bought it and how much was it. I mean, if you want to get a little detailed, is helpful if you will be updating drivers, selling at a second hand, and things like that. Sup, Kale and Keel? I'm doing well. A little tired, to be honest. The channel is always the channel plus the shop plus my kids and everything. It's always just go go go. But sup, Michael Chua, waving. But yeah, can't complain. Everybody's in good health. The shop is chugging along. The channel is also chugging along. We just reached actually 120,000 subscribers, which is amazing. We hit 100K. I can't quite remember. We did it as a live stream, but from 100K to 120K, that's like a 20% increase in like less than a year, I think. So, stop Maverick Hornet. um, I Crypto has been on my mind a lot. So since I got back into it last August and then got super back into it last November. So now I'm into this phase now. I really like check every day. I'm keeping a trading log. I've signed up to Telegram channels that cost hundreds of dollars, like literally hundreds of dollars to join these Telegram channels. Um, yeah, so I went big. So that's another thing taking up my time. But I went big into crypto because a lot of people are saying that 2024, first half of 2025 will be super big for crypto. Generational wealth and things like that. We'll talk about it more when I talk about the live streams. Um, but just to sup, Mr. Domo09. Oh, sup Domer. Sup Nix Balgoa. I appreciate it. I really it makes me it like I don't want to sound like an egoist, but it makes me feel good when I see comments like this na nakatulong yung mga videos, like they understand some computing hardware or term that they didn't before, or it helped them start it helped start them on their PC hobby journey. Those are really the comments that I really appreciate. I think na um yeah, that's why we do it. I mean, and that's why we have a channel dedicated to explaining PC parts. I mean, there are a lot of tech hardware channels, but I think ours is one of the few na sort of oriented towards the beginner. So we don't use a lot of jargon. We try to debunk myths na, a lot of other creators are very focused on performance. Us, we're like, yeah, kung may bottleneck. Pero sulit naman yung upgrade. You can still, you'll be able to run, triple A games. So try kind of giving sort of a different perspective compared to just the all fast, all efficiency kind of thing. Yeah, so I really like seeing comments like that. Just as an aside, Domer, I do have a new project for you. We have to start testing the new deep cool stuff. Message kita when you get back from your rest days. I think that's Thursday, no? Yeah, super newbie friendly. And that's really what we're going for. Not that we talk down to newbies, but we try to address their concerns and talk to them in a language na very friendly. Kasi yun nga, I like cars, but I'm not a car guy. When I start hearing very technical terms, I get lost and I get scared, right? Because you don't know what this other guy is talking about. Takot ka na baka maloko ka, may magtulak sa'yo ng upgrade na di mo naman kailangan. Um, so that's how I feel about cars. I start feeling apprehensive when people I don't trust or strangers. I'm in a strange shop, suddenly start talking about like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's why both when it comes to the PC space where I'm more knowledgeable, when it comes to the videos, and when it comes to the shop, we really try to be user friendly and explain everything. Sup R3D, good evening. Thanks for watching. But just to address, just to comment a little bit on Maverick Hornet, um, we've been stuck at 50 to 51K for a while, and I'm a little I wouldn't say over leveraged, but compared to the reserve leverage that I usually have, I'm not at my usual ratio. So every time it drops down to like 50,000 for a Bitcoin, like, oh man, my intestines, cause like my nerves. But the problem with me is, oh, then it starts going up. So then I add a little bit to my positions. But if I think, and I my opinion is based on the Telegram groups that I'm a part of, that I paid to be a part of. If we can get past end of Feb without a major correction, like even a 49, a drop to 49, I'm still comfortable with. But like anything below like 48,500, that's that would be, I'd be sweating bullets. Like I would be like, should I close my longs? But we're about to, if we reach Feb without any major dump, I think we're fine, and I think it'll go up. Yun nga, the major Telegram group guy I follow predicts like 55 next leg up, which is pretty good. Although I do have longs in Bitcoin, but I have a couple of big swings in altcoins as well. Made some money on Ethereum. But this, there's always some learning. I mean, like especially for crypto, I'm always, there's always a lot of stuff for me to learn. Like I just just a couple of days ago. So um not to get technical, but there are certain futures contracts. Futures is basically you're betting that the market will go up. I had a futures contract on Ethereum. It was doing really well. And it went down like negative, but I'm like, okay lang naman kasi end of Feb. I thought that the contract was up to end of Feb. And I figured that, yeah, it'll go down, but by the end of Feb, akit naman siya. Yung problema, the contract actually expired or auto-terminated February 23, hindi end nung Feb. And Ethereum was down end of at February 23. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Like, and then when I checked my history, like the trading history, I'm like, oh, nag-terminate pala to. Then I checked it wasn't even fine print. It was actually there on the the trading ticker Feb 23. I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. So I lost money. Not the first time I've lost money on crypto, not, and it won't be the last. But those are the kind of errors na tama naman yung thinking ko on the trend mali lang yung actual execution. So I think that pretty much makes me the dumbass. I mean, that was dumb. So I did lose money there. Yeah. So lots of things to still learn with the whole crypto thing. But getting there. Hopefully, hopefully we score big this year. Since November when I started taking it seriously, January, the spot Bitcoin ETF approval and things like that. I think overall I've been doing pretty well. Pero it's like I'm playing catch up because a lot of the accounts that I follow have been in it for such a long time. They have a lot of money to put in spot, yung hindi naka-leverage. They're like, oh, I think this coin will go up in 3 months and I'm gonna set aside $500,000. I mean, parang wala lang. Ganun kalaking reserves nila na they can afford to put $500,000. that's not even their entire bag. I mean, that's just like, oh yeah, parang okay, magtatabi muna ako, parang ganyan. So I have a lot to catch up. I do not have $500,000 to just toss in on one coin on one position. So I'm being a little aggressive with my leverage so that I can earn some money, and that's worked out for me. Like I do have some nice spot positions now, but I've still a long way to go. Hopefully it gets better. At the end of 2024, hopefully medyo maluwag na yung positions ko. Like, hindi ako palagi naghahabol. So it's been going well so far, pero it's very stressful for me. Like, I like tech, but I'm not the kind of guy na I'm glued to my phone. But now because I'm watching the market so closely, before I sleep, when I wake up, in between, I curse Globe kasi ang pangit nung mobile data nila, so I can't keep up with the prices and things like that. So, but anyway, so speaking of crypto, we do have like a trilogy, and in this one, I think underperformed. Like I think there was a lot of good value in this video. There's always like people always talk about what you need to know before trading cryptocurrency, but this video is 5 things you don't need to know, and more knowledge is always better. But if you just want to start trading, the best advice really is just to start trading. Cases of worrying about certain things, and that's where this video comes in. But not a lot of my viewers really care about crypto, and we can see that in the numbers. So this one didn't even crack 500. This one, beginner's guide to trading crypto, 500 or so views. um that's not a lot for the channel, so a lot of the viewers, I mean, and in fairness naman, you didn't come to the channel for because of crypto. You came because of computing hardware and things like that. But I do have an interest in crypto, so I do a live stream once a month, and I do some occasional videos about it. And that's the thing about Hardware Sugar. A lot of the videos are not like, oh, we need to do this for the algorithm, and Hardware Sugar just needs to pump out videos about computer. I mean, there are a lot of videos on the channel na I make not because I think they'll be popular, but because I'm just interested in the topic. And sorry na lang. I mean, for sure there are gonna be videos about computer stuff, right? But I do like to mix up the content just because I'm interested in that. And then another example of that would be this episode of the podcast. So this one was actually heavy hitting. We had the PR. This is Lucille from TikTok. So she is the PR head for the Southeast Asian region for Bumble. It's just a well-known company. It's a high position. So I think our producer really scored well here to get Bumble's view on like online dating and things like that. So this is our latest episode of the podcast. It underperformed. Like the last episode of the podcast did really well. The one about internet cafes. So that was like 3,000 plus views na ngayon. How many? I am My Childhood is Dead. Yeah, 3,000 views. The internet cafe is dead. Long live the internet cafe. So of course, yeah, there is a bias of the audience to favor more PC related stuff, even for the podcast. So I was a little disappointed that this one underperformed. But I thought it was a good episode. And again, just kind of like mixing it up, especially for the podcast, where I feel that we can do topics but that are related to tech, but di naman like kailangan super in your face hardware-y about it. This one from Rocky the Programmer, a review. 4070 Super from Asus. He really liked the card. Also, I do remember seeing one comment on it. Na this is the 4070 we should have had at launch. Well, Nvidia is swimming in money, swimming ridiculously, swimming in money at this point because of the AI craze. So, that's not gonna help gamers in our position that Nvidia cards are overpriced. The 4080 Super, you didn't see a lot of performance gain there, maybe 3%. Mas malaki pa yung performance gain ng 4070 Super. And I think a positive review was in order. I mean, yeah, I agree with obviously I agree with it. I published it on the channel. So but just value for money, the 4070 Super has more there compared to the 4080 Super. But really right now, and I mentioned this in the price watch episode, which is the video that comes after this one, the the channels, the shops now here in the Philippines, di pa sila maka-move on sa pricing nila. So yung 4070 tsaka yung 4080, mas mahal pa compared to the 4070 Super and the 4080 Super. And both of those cards are faster than the non-super equivalents. So the supers here in the Philippines at least are cheaper and they're faster. No brainer. There's no reason anymore to get the 4080 from a local shop because a lot of them mas mahal pa yung 4080s kaysa 4080 Super. So it's very good, Anton. The 4070 Super, like good value for money. And yun nga, mas mahal yung for a lot of the shops, mas mahal yung 4070 compared to the 4070 Super. Yung nangyari doon, I suspect is, they had stock of the 4070, they bought it at a certain price and ayaw nila malugi. So they can't drop the price lower than the 4070 Super or the 4080 Super as the case may be. And then Nvidia really came out with like a 4070 Ti Super pa or something like that. I mean, some ridiculous naming scheme like that. But yeah, right now, at least for the Philippine market, and I do mention this in Price Watch, it's a no-brainer. If you're in the market for a new GPU, you're thinking about it. The supers are cheaper and they're faster than the current older line. Me personally, like I have a 3080. I was toying like before it came out, the 4080 Super came out. I was toying of thinking of getting it, when it came out as my upgrade. But the price different, the performance gain is minuscule compared to the 4080. And okay pa naman yung performance ko in games. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just skip the 40 generation. And yun nga, a lot of my money is tied up in crypto. And I don't really feel the need. Yun nga, a lot of my time is divided between the shop and the channel and my family and crypto. So I don't get to play a lot naman talaga. Like like I play CS. I'm still playing Cyberpunk. So um I don't want to tempt you, Anton, but the 4070 Super is pretty good. But again, I know I'm biased kasi it's kind of like yeah, parang umiikot lang. But yeah, the 4070 is pretty good. 4070 Super, I should say. Yeah, so I don't really feel the need to upgrade from my 3080 at this point because nga and here we are, like price watch talaga. Sup, Jay? Jay's video actually, Jay will come out soon. Tomorrow. Check out the video tomorrow. Yeah. Um it is a very nice case. I won't spoil the members. If you're a YouTube member, you already know what I'm talking about because it's already up for members. But I won't spoil it for the general audience. But it's you can check out the video tomorrow. It's a very nice build. Sup, Ernie from YouTube. I haven't caught up with Jay recently. Jay, ano naman, when we have the next actually I haven't caught up with the guys at the shop for a while. You get super busy. But yeah, when the next time we have a thing at the shop, I will let you know, Jay. We have never had any. Sorry, let me just skip this and talk about like price watch talaga. We've never had any incident. I mean, it is possible. Of course, we've seen the reports from the internet, but we've never had one from like our own customer. Because we're super paranoid. When we install the 4090, we really stick the wires way in there just to make sure. Because parang basically at the end of the day, it's just like parang it's not properly plugged in. I mean, that's Nvidia stance. To be fair, there have been others that have tried other cables, like the cable mod, but which the cable mod guys had to issue a recall actually for the 90-degree connector that they made. Sup, Ochi? Yeah, so we've never had any problems, knock on wood, with the 4090s we've sold and that we've installed in customer rigs. So Price Watch is the episode we do once a month where we've been tracking prices. It's like October 2022 and all of that historical data is there, and we try to give like a cross section of the market. So we can't cover all the products, but we get the 4 largest PC retailers para may general idea kayo. And And I think it's yun nga, syempre biased ako because I'm the one who has to pour in the time. I'm still the one who follows the prices and who does the everything for Price Watch, from the editing to the actual shoot and the data and the analysis of the data. Um, I think it's a great resource for local PC buyers because everybody complains na overpriced. But ano yung basis? What's the yun nga, ano yung historical data for prices? Here we have it. Here we have it in on Price Watch. And I think yung nakakaasar for me is like, you have a lot of consumers saying overpriced, overpriced, but like compared to what? Uh Previous historical prices, overpriced compared to a different GPU which has lower performance but it's at a much lower price. I mean, it's easy to complain, but to give valuable criticism because hindi lang overpriced, but you can say it's overpriced because yes, it's faster, but yung price to performance di ganun kaganda. That's where the value comes in, and I think that's where a lot of internet commenters, they don't care. They just wanna vent, they just wanna rant, and then wala na. And I think that's why regular shows like this, like Price Watch, we have the data, we do the analysis, it comes out on a regular basis, and it is accessible to the public 24/7. This Google Sheet that I'm talking about in the video, you can just go to the episode. The link is in the video description below, and yeah, there you go, right? I mean, super easy to follow and a very valuable resource, I feel, for the buying public in general. You don't even need to buy from Hardware Sugar. You can still benefit from the Price Watch episode. Sup, Alex D5? So yeah, so I feel we I feel that we do a lot for the local PC market for both the channel and the shop. Like we have policies and we have content that I think is provides value that uh, again, not to like comparing ourselves, but just like in general looking at other tech channels. I feel we do a lot of odd things, weird things, but those are the ones that provide value. Yun nga, like Price Watch, which for a Price Watch episode, this one was 4 days ago, 2,500 views. Not bad, not bad. Um, the although the previous one did better, like almost 5,000 because of the Coke can, like saving money on PC parts thanks to Coke. And it's not really clickbait per se, but it's kind of clickbaity. Not that the audience minded. All of the comments are positive. Um, yeah, so Price Watch I think is one of those good examples of how we do things that other people don't do, but it's very useful to the consumer. So we've also been pushing our shorts. This one did very well from Rocky the Programmer, like PC building mistakes to avoid. Um, this one actually, like we have a TikTok, and yeah, do have a TikTok. The link is in the description below if you want to follow us. I'm just super surprised though. Wait, let me just pull up like our TikTok, and then oh, I can just open a new tab. No, I don't know. You know, like I'm pretending to be like a expert, pero I forgot. Like you can just pull up the tab. So this TikTok from not too long ago has 35,000 views. This SSD TikTok, and it's like a video. It's like a review of a Team Group SSD from December. So this is far and away our best performing TikTok. 35,000 views. This one, wala pa nag-view nito. This one I just uploaded. Oh, sorry. This one wala pa. These will be uploaded pa tomorrow and then 2 days from now. This one wala pa. No views. I uploaded this like couple of well, maybe it's just loading or something. Yeah, so we're not super big on TikTok, but yeah, 35,000 views for this one is pretty darn good for the team group one. I can't remember if although this one, like, I really did try to. Oh yeah, so the same short. This is the same short. Did only like 2,400 on YouTube. I did 35,000 on TikTok. So pretty good. Yeah, we do try to publish I think he's in chat now. So let's we'll wait for his reply. That will break the internet. This one I thought should have done better. Yeah, but we do try to have a short now at least once a week. Although these latest shorts have been from Rocky the Programmer, I should really get back into doing shorts as well. Uh, we have hit the 30-minute mark. Let me just play the ad one more time because sponsor.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder. Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nag-CDK ka na para sa Windows mo. Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sad and depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. So onto the live streams, I really do try to do Hardware Sugar reacts to Hardware Sugar towards the end of the month. So this one was the last. This was on January 30. Hardware Sugar reacts to Hardware Sugar January 30. And we really hit the ground running. Feb 1 was our CS live stream. So I've been since like January, December, the 4 live streams that I've done have all been of CS2. Two trivia. So I do 4 game live streams because this was the idea of my brother Rafael when he was still helping out with the channels. Like years ago, we've been with the sponsor for quite a long time now. He's like, well, why don't we tell the sponsor that I can do I'll do 4 game live streams, and then their logo will be there at the bottom, and they'll pay us a little bit of money. It'll be good for the channel. Anyway, I need the game anyway, so I'm like, okay, and the sponsor said okay. But you know this, I've been doing them for the past year or so because my brother Rafael is abroad studying, and I feel like a lot of things in my life start out like this. Like some guy is like, hey, why don't we do this? I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. You do that. And then eventually I'm nahuhulog sa akin, bumabagsak sa akin. So it has fallen to me to continue the foreign game live streams. Not that I mind, but I'm not really I'm not super comfortable, like to be honest. Streaming. Like even like this streaming. I'm not I'm an like like my psychological profile is I'm an introvert, and especially for me gaming was more of a single player experience even before compared like yeah multiplayer but like with close friends. So it's not something that comes naturally to me being live streaming while I'm playing a game. um Although like when I did it before with Death Stranding, so those got a lot of views. The CS2 ones do decent, like a couple maybe 100 views or so. I'm not bad in some of them. In fact, like the running joke I have for these guys is that like for the CS2 live streams, if I get MVP sa or in one round, then discount, magsasale yung shop bukas. And that actually happened on this one in the last game stream. I got MVP. I don't think I timestamped it. Did I timestamp it? I didn't. But it's like such a ridiculous MVP. MVP body. I don't know. So like it was towards the end, like my team was losing already, and then it was like a completely useless MVP. But anyway, I got MVP, so I had to yeah, I had to ano, I had to put the shop, because if I say something on chat, I will. I mean, if I say something online, I'm gonna do that. So I said that publicly that if I get MVP, the shop will go on sale, and the shop went on sale. It was a really ridiculous MVP. I think I would be afraid to see the mix of Jaynalyn and Gerald. Parang nakakatakot yung halo na yun. I don't know if I want to see that. Have the I assume this will just get worse as we roll off towards summer. I do have solar panels on my roof, which is another thing I made a video out of very early. So yeah, there's a bunch of content on the channel that isn't directly super related to PC hardware, but that I find super interesting. So I do have solar on my roof. It doesn't fully cover my electric costs, especially at night, since wala namang araw at night. There's no sun at night. But yeah, it does earn me something because I sell it back to Meralco during the day. Yes, I saw the big announcement. To be honest, I was talking to one of my friends and he's like, ano tingin mo sa Death Stranding 2? And I'm like, I haven't seen the trailer. And to be honest, Death Stranding 1, there was a lot of WTF moments for me. And parang they're doubling down on the WTF moments for Death Stranding 2. But that said, the gameplay of just walking around and rebuilding, I found it very soothing. I don't know if I was in that time of my life and I needed something just to kind of like slow down and relax. And like the ghosts, the I forget what they call the ghosts, but you can't really see them and they're in the fog. But if they spot you, they like run towards you. And especially when you're starting out palang and you don't have a lot of good gear, so you can't hold your own against the ghost. Like you can't shoot them with your blood and stuff like that, or the grenades. That one I found really spooky. Like you're like I used to play it late at night and then like on my big monitor, and then when the ghosts would detect you and then, like the wailing and things like that, that would like medyo kinalibutan ako nun. That is kind of scary. So I do have good memories of Death Stranding 1, even though there were a lot of WTF moments in it. So those were and I was able to do live from the shop. Well, pwede magtanong, was Feb 1, I think, or Feb 2. Do we have the exact date here? No, basta 3 weeks ago. I will be doing pwede magtanong March 1, so that's this Friday. Then just like heads up on our schedule, March 1, pwede magtanong, 2 and 3, probably gaming lives. March 4 to 8, I will be away because Deep Cool has kindly invited me to visit their factory in China. But definitely we'll do at least one live stream from China. Um, I'm kind of curious, and then probably sorry, I like I did a little boy hee hee. I wanna try. So I'm gonna make a list of maybe controversial websites, not controversial for us, but controversial for the Chinese. And I'm curious if I can access them in China. And I'll also be using the Deeper Connect Air. So this is a VPN, which it's a hardware VPN, so no subscription needed. I reviewed this and another of their products in the past. They work as advertised. But this is the first time I'll be using it for actual VPN purposes. Um, yeah, so I'll be doing a bunch of content while I'm in China since nandun na rin ako, just based on the location and also because for like the factory tour I assume will be super interesting. Di naman like it's not I'm just curious. Like to be honest, I'm just curious. Like ano yung ma-access ko in China? Is it that big a deal? Although I assume their censorship, the Great Firewall, is more geared towards the local market. So like actual Weibo or whatever sites that you can access na in Chinese. I don't think they care too much about the English language stuff. But yeah, again, it's just I'm just curious, and yeah, I am bringing the hardware VPN, which I have some experience with. Yeah, but the Deep Cool factory should be pretty interesting also. Um, and yeah, so March 4 to 8, I will be out of country, but yeah, you'll see me do at least one live stream from there. Yun nga, kasi we try to front load a lot of the things that we need. We try to front load a lot of the deliverables we need for the sponsor at the start of the month. Yes, we can do that. Actually, it doesn't matter. Like if you get it from Amazon or from another shop, as long as 50% of the components are bought from our shop, we will still assemble for free. And if you don't reach the 50% cutoff, no problem. We just have a build fee of 2,000. So yeah, I mean we've been doing that for a long time now. Doesn't matter what shop, whether it's from Amazon, New Egg, whether it's from another local shop. We do have options in place for that. Yes. Yeah, so pwede magtanong. I'll be doing that March 1. Live from the shop, I got to do because there was a holiday last this Feb. Forget which the holiday was. And then, yeah, we had the Crypto Watch episode. Parabolic teleportation has not happened yet, and the market has been kind of in the doldrums since, like, there's a good spike, Feb 7 to 14, I think it was. I do keep a trading log now. Um, which I have here actually. Let's Yeah, yung medyo last na sustained jump was Feb 7 to 14. Usually in a month there's at least one period of a couple of days that the price goes up quite a lot. Yeah, and you're looking at the current target is 55,000 per Bitcoin. It's roughly around 51 now. So imagine you had one Bitcoin, you buy one Bitcoin worth 51, you sell it at 55. That's a $4,000 profit. That's like over a quarter of a million pesos from just hanging out and buying a Bitcoin. And you don't need to have $51,000 on hand to buy one Bitcoin because you can use futures, you can use leverage. Um yeah, so kind of wild. Yep, thank you, Ochi. Yeah, do take note that just because you get it from Amazon doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be cheaper. The deep cool ones are pretty well priced. Compared to what you would get in the States, for example. I mean, we're much closer to the manufacturer here. Christian, are 73700X still okay for a 4060? Yeah. I mean, if you have the money, why not get a 5700X? But if money budget is a little tight, 3700X with a 4060, no problem. My PC was running a 3700X with a 3080. So I felt that was completely fine. Although I did upgrade over the Christmas break to 5900X. Not so much for gaming, but for the editing, and the editing is a much smoother now, a lot smoother now with the 5900X. So good upgrade. I think sulit na yun na upgrade for at least for my use case. It's I mean it's a carryover of when you answer that question, why are GPUs more expensive here compared to in the States? That can apply to a lot of things. Why are motherboards? Why are CPUs more expensive? One primary answer is because of the smaller market. I mean, you think about the US, it has such a big market, and basic economics, if you buy a lot of the same thing, you can get a cheaper price. Supply and demand lang yan, economics of scale. Whereas you have a much smaller market in the Philippines, you don't have those economics of scale. So our local distributors, ang layo by a factor, by a large factor, ang layo nung na mabibili ng mga local distributors natin. So of course the price is much lower. And a little bit behind the scenes, like our distributors, maybe they'll have 100 units of one GPU. Like isipin mo 100 units for the entire Philippines. Isang Best Buy lang yan sa States or something. I mean, the volume that you can expect in the States is astronomically larger than what you can expect here in the Philippines. So of course, we don't have those economics of scale. So we can't get them. Our distributors can't get them at a cheaper price, and so they also can't sell them at a cheaper price. And you're talking about retailers like Amazon, like Best Buy, New Egg. These guys have, yun nga, the volume for the US market is so much larger compared to what we can do here. So again, it's a little like the consumers always say, "But ang mahal, but ang mahal," because our market is not there yet. Like we don't have the volume that the US can, and this is proven by looking at a market like Singapore. Singapore, first world, the customers there can afford, but the prices there are not that great. I mean, sometimes we even have better prices here in the Philippines because Singapore is a much smaller country. Again, you don't have that economics of scale that you can rely on um, in large markets like North America. And you, on the consumer side, it's, you always hear like, oh, kasi everybody's greedy. Nvidia is greedy, the distributors are greedy, the shops are greedy, pineperahan lang, etc. But that's just really not the case. The fact of the matter is that, yeah, the volume is not there, and so those are the prices that we have. And speaking as someone who owns a PC shop, mahal rin when we buy from the distributors, but we have no choice and we need to put a markup. So mahal talaga when it reaches the end user. And if you think it's expensive when you buy one graphics card, think about like even just a small shop like Hardware Sugar. We've tried to get 3 pieces of that graphics card. And then we need to stock also other lines of graphics cards. Sobrang mahal. Especially if you're a small shop like Hardware Sugar. Um, Actually, to be honest, I've been toying around with the idea na di na kami magsa-stock on shelf ng GPUs, like per order custom basis na lang. Because yeah, the GPUs really wipe you out. And if you don't sell them right away, maiipit ka when the new models come along. Yung CPUs not so bad pa eh. When the new model CPUs come along, you can kind of like lower the price pa to get back what you paid for, at least di ka malulugi. But GPUs, when the new models come out, grabe. The market for the old models gets really depressed, like the price wise, and you can't sell them anymore. Lugi ka na. So like, I've been toying with the idea na we won't have on shelf GPUs anymore. Lahat custom order na lang. So yeah, again, just behind the scenes, like real talk, man. It's not because we're squeezing money out of the consumer. It's like it's we can't get them at the prices that the North American market can. I mean, it's just the economics of it. Yeah, that's a good match. 700 XTX, roughly comparable to a 4080, roughly, very roughly. And then the 7800 X3D, beautiful CPU for gaming. So yeah, that's good. What's up, Marvin Del Mundo? Yes, and what you don't get from the online shops, the foreign online shops, is that the warranty is very difficult. We cannot. It has to be the consumer who buys it, the customer who buys it from any store, regardless whether it's a local store or Amazon, because we don't want to be saddled with the. I mean, diba? Parang di na nga galing sa amin. Kami pa problema sa RMA, which it's very difficult if you buy a part from Amazon. I don't know how you would RMA that. So, I mean that's one step too far. I think it's very difficult for the shop to make money or to kami pa, di na nga galing sa amin, kami pa on the hook for the RMA. So if it's regardless where it's bought, whether it's from Amazon or something else, the customer has to buy it and then they just have to bring it to us, and then we'll include it, like we'll install it in the build. The volume, man. Yeah, I mean, really, like, diba? Parang how many GPUs does New Egg sell? I mean, crazy. We do that also at Hardware Sugar. But at Hardware Sugar, we try to keep like most of the basic GPUs on stock. So 1660 Super, 1650, 4060. We don't even have the high end on stock. Like the highest end we go is maybe 4070, 4070 Super. But yeah, I've been thinking like purely eliminating the GPU shelf, kumbaga, in the shop, because that would really help out with our cash flow. Having GPUs on hand is hella expensive. Like, just putting it out there, like some some of the shop guys are watching now. But I haven't shared this with them. I'm sharing publicly. Like, I haven't paid myself a salary from Hardware Sugar since November last year. Um, that's how difficult it is to maintain cash flow in the business that I'm in. Not to say the shop makes money, but then you have to buy parts, you need to pay people, you need to pay rent. The easiest person to go hungry is me. Because you can't expect the guys in the shop to go hungry. I mean, they have to eat also, they have families to feed and things like that. So I haven't drawn a salary from the shop since November last year. How can I do that? Because I make money off crypto. Yeah, I mean, it's like my side, like my primary hustle should be the shop, but it burns money like a furnace, man. It's like nagtatapon lang ako ng pera sa Hardware Sugar. And the easiest person not to pay is myself. So we do make money also from the channel, from the sponsor, from the ad revenue. But even all of that goes to the shop. So I haven't been paying myself because the way we do accounting is we whatever we earn from the channel, we consider that as income for the shop. So we channel it into the shop. Um, it doesn't go to me. And yeah, I haven't earned anything from Hardware Sugar since November last year. So it's like parang ironic na my side hustle in crypto has become the primary means of supporting myself as the shop burns through money. But ganun naman talaga. Like I've noticed January, like early start of the year, the shop really needs help. Because not a lot of people are buying because December, was a good time to buy. Everybody had their bonuses. So January starts out really slow. Um, so yeah, it'll pick up naman as the year goes on. But yeah, it's a very capital intensive business itong PC retail. Um yeah, if you've noticed, like pumapayat ba ako? I Hardware Sugar has not paid me since November. um and it's stressful for me to make sure that the suppliers get paid, the building where we rent gets paid, the staff gets paid. It's and I my wife is also a lawyer. She's a partner in a very big law firm. She makes good money. Pero nakakaya naman, 'di ba, if I let my wife shoulder all of the expenses of the household. So I do pitch in also. Like when I say I haven't gotten anything from Hardware Sugar, it's not just me who doesn't eat kumbaga. It's also my children. They have to go to school. Um, so yeah, I am teaching now in my alma mater, so that earns me a little side money, and yeah, with the crypto and things like that. But yeah, it's a very capital intensive. It's a very capital intensive time. Hindi naman Ochi, like para sub story. Please buy from Hardware Sugar. But yeah, just Hardware Sugar reacts to Hardware Sugar. It's kind of like a behind the scenes of everything. It's a very capital intensive business, and it is cyclical. Because just like the toy stores, like back in the day, Toys R Us type in the states when Toys R Us was still big, they the entire year they would be operating at a loss, like January, February in the red, yan, negative yan lahat, until Black Friday in the States. So that's the Friday after Thanksgiving, and then the Christmas season. They would make enough in those 6 weeks, let's say mid November up to the end of the year, to make up for the entire year. So I mean, retail is very cyclical like that, and I've noticed nga that start of the year, medyo tight talaga yung funds, like really tight. Gipit talaga, like so yeah, it'll pick up naman. And hopefully we can turn a profit. And I hope I hope, like, we can start feeding me. I mean, or like the Hardware Sugar can start paying me again. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. You're right. There are a lot of shops that I also follow for my opposition research, or just good to know your competitors. And they seem like good shops. So I mean, I can't, like, I haven't bought naman from them, but at least the public facade they show seems to be more customer friendly than some of the traditional stores. So that's great. That's great for the consumer. That's great for the market, and I'm all for it. Yun nga, sales have been slow for Hardware Sugar, but that's expected for this time of year. We're kind of treading water. So we're not like underwater, but it's not like we're shooting out of the water either. And I hope business picks up a little bit more so that the shop can start paying me again. But in the meantime, yeah, hanging in there. And you know what, the promise of retail, like the tantalizing thing sana is volume. Like we need to grow bigger. So like sana we can save up a little in the Hardware Sugar bank account so we can start looking for new locations, and we're not always tight on cash and things like that. So that's really, to win at retail, you really need to have scale. It's ridiculous to just be like this kind of mom and pop kind of like single store operation. But it's not a great time to expand right now. I mean, I'm barely making ends meet as it is. Tapos we'll take on new staff, take on a new location. So wag na muna, but hopefully we can get there. Because the only way to win talaga at retail is to do it at volume, to do it at scale. And again, that goes back to the question, why are PC parts here so expensive? Because we don't have that scale. But yeah, if you have like the volume of tipong um PC Hub has great inventory um because they're really big. They have that scale. Yeah. Support good local businesses, not just PC places, but restaurants, car detailing places. I mean, there are a lot of local businesses. I think that deserve our support. We actually interviewed the organizer or convener before of ESGS. It's in the old live streams in the industry, and who knows? I mean, conventions. That's where we have volume. We have a large market that are willing to pay to attend conventions, whether it's like a mix of gaming slash cosplay and things like that. Um, so maybe not a straight up hardware thing like CES, but definitely some kind of convention. I mean, we've gotten so big that we can invite the biggest names in cosplay from Pokimane. Pokimane I think was here. That she even visited Boracay and Fusili, I think, or something. I don't know exactly how you pronounce. I'm not super big into the gamer girl slash cosplay slash scene, but yeah, I mean, even now we're already big enough to support the inviting like the biggest names from abroad to come here. So definitely, I think some kind of convention along those lines is very doable. All right, that's it for me because speaking of growing hungry, I am hungry. Um, do check out the video tomorrow. It's a very nice build done by a Hardware Sugar alumni. And then the day after that will be the next episode of the podcast, turning oldies into techies. And then I think we do take a break. So Thursday, there's a break in our content. And then Friday will be Pwede Magtanong, first live stream of March. Thanks so much for sticking with us, the shop and the channel. And yeah, we just keep grinding away basically until, yeah, grind until, until we get somewhere. See you, Anton. Bye, guys.